Hi guys, gals and non-binary pals, welcome back to Budget with Ira. Today we are joined with Yasmine.
Hi.
We've done a video over on her channel where we were talking about 10, what are we calling this?
Budgeting questions?
10 budgeting questions, great title. Make sure that you go over to her channel and check out hers as well, because I was hilarious in it, I swear. The reason why we're here today is because we are here to talk about an amazing project that we have, and I'm going to share way more about that at the end of today's video. So make sure you stick around to the end. So in today's video, we're going to be doing 10 budgeting questions. I'm going to be asking the question, and then Yasmine and I are both going to be answering that question. It's going to be great. Enjoy.
Sorry.
I knew you were going to ruin my video. Right, so let's go ahead and start with question number 1. Yasmine, are you a spender or a saver?
I'm definitely a saver. No, I'm not. I'm a spender. I'm having to really battle quite hard to switch from a spender to a saver. I'm enjoying saving, but it's just like really ingrained in my nature to be a spender. I can spend on anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never really reflected on it, but clearly I just like the act of spending money.
I agree. I think naturally I just love spending. I think there's an instant gratification thing, but the thing that sort of has curbed that for me more than anything is running an Etsy store. The fact that I have to spend as much money as I do on bloody laminating pouches winds me up. I hate everything, and it's sort of helping me unlearn a little bit, because I'm like, I have to really think, do I really need this piece of plastic?
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10 I do, but like I begrudge those sorts of sales. So yeah, I think that's helping me unlearn a bit. But yeah, I'm absolutely loads like you. I love to spend.
As much as it's not that exciting because it's laminated pouches, when the actual package arrives, is there a little buzz?
Yeah, I love it.
Whatever it is, I'm just like, oh, a package to open.
I know what's arriving. I'm like, oh, how excited. Great. So if somebody was coming brand new to budgeting, maybe in debt, maybe not in debt, what would the one piece of advice that you would give them?
I think it would be try and find a way to confide in someone.
Yeah.
Like, I just think having any kind of support, if that's a friend or a family member, or even if it is calling like one of the sort of debt charity helplines or something, just being able to talk it through. So I think just finding somebody to talk to, because I think a lot of the time, not always, but a lot of the time, people are hiding it from family members and friends, but also sometimes from themselves.
Their partners.
Yeah, I've had so many messages of like, I've now spoken to my partner, and actually all of them have been positive, and they've said, thank you so much for making it less scary to talk about. They've had support, and sometimes monetary support. They've had, family members go, do you know what, let's pay it off, I'll help you can pay me back because it gets rid of the interest.
Absolutely.
So yeah, just finding somebody in your life that can support you.
That was really nice. I'm quite surprised at you. So for me, the biggest lesson that I learned as a new budgeter, and the thing that gave me the quickest traction is to drop the habits that don't do you any good. So for me, quitting smoking changed my life fundamentally. Not only did it change my life in the fact that I'm actually healthier because I'm not smoking, I'm also not spending £10 a day on a pack of cigarettes.
It's an expensive habit, isn't it?
Yeah. If you're use like any sort of drugs or any sort of alcohol, but you're having more than someone normally would, at least cutting down habits makes a fundamental change to not only your health, your outlook on things as well, but also your financial life as well. Like when you're looking at a budget, when you're like eyeballs deep in debt, and you're like, there is no wriggle room, like how on earth am I going to claw myself out? If you don't spend £10 a day on cigarettes, that's going to do something.
It'll be a big difference.
Yeah.
Can you imagine now, all this time on, and the way that you are with your budget, if I said, right, that's it, you've got to start smoking again, like to be able to part with that amount of money on that.
If you gave me £10 a day for a month, I don't know what I'd spend that money on. Laminated sheets. So what is your least favourite thing about budgeting? We all know budgeting is amazing, but what's the least favourite thing?
Having to plan and having to wait. So obviously I alluded to it already, but yeah, I kind of see stuff and I want it now, and I'm not letting myself do that because I don't want to get back into debt. I do get a bit like a sulky child that I have to wait for things.
Do you find when you wait for stuff for a long time, by the time you've got the money to pay for it, you actually don't want it anymore?
That does happen, yes.
Shocking, right?
Actually, sometimes when I've made purchases in the past, because I absolutely needed and wanted them,
Yeah.
I didn't. And had I waited, I would never have bought them.
Yeah.
Because I made snap decisions. Juicer.
Juicer.
I definitely won't do that again. Hopefully.
I hope so too. For me, the thing I don't like about budgeting is dealing with cash. Like for me, it's a necessary evil. Like if I've got a card on me, I'll just spend. But if I know I've got my cash, it has changed the way that I spend. It helps me not overspend. So it's really integral to the way that I budget, and it's really important to me. I just hate doing it.
Yeah, but you are very, you know, out of all the budgeters that I watch and see, you really do stick, like, this is the cash I've got and this is the cash I spend.
Yeah.
You're very strict with yourself, and it is very cash based.
Well, yeah, I've got to be militant about it because it works, but also I know what it feels like when I don't know if my card's going to go through. I know what it's like when I know I get paid on the 28th, but my car payment comes out on the 27th, and trying to make that work. That feels way worse than me going, here's your £10, Doris. Like, that feels way worse.
Yeah,
So,
I guess that's a good thing, that even though it's something you don't like, there's a very good reason.
yeah. It's a bit like going to the dentist. Don't like it, but you got to do it.
I've been to the dentist for years.
Mate, you're going to fall out. Okay, it's a bit like getting a smear test. Fuck's sake, Yasmine.
No, I'm joking.
So what would you say is the worst financial mistake you've ever made? Juicer?
I think it's the juicer. I do think it's the juicer. Like, obviously, over on my TikTok, everyone went a bit crazy about the Peloton bike that I bought during lockdown. However, at that point, I was in a bad mental state and a bad physical state, and I genuinely thought it was a means to an end to get some exercise and start feeling better about myself. The juicer cost a lot less, but I don't even use it. But yeah, it's got to be the juicer, because I've come such a long way with my budgeting journey that just seems like a really out of character mishap.
You can't beat yourself up about mistakes. Like, what would you say to someone else who just like spent, you know, their equivalent of £500? But people make mistakes, it happens.
Yeah, and that's something actually that in my whole journey, I've always been really strong on. Like, I just don't want people to feel shame. Like, everybody makes mistakes, and for what, like, there's always a backstory as to why you end up with the spending habits or the debt that you do, and I just think people, should be kinder to themselves with all of that. Yeah, you're right. I should be kinder to myself, because that's what I tell everyone else to be.
You shouldn't be taking the mickey out of yourself for buying that. That's my job. The worst thing that I've ever done financially is like long lasting, so I'm still dealing with the repercussions of that decision. So I think probably about 4 years ago, Jake and I were in a bit of we were in a good place financially, because we had just finished off paying for a loan. So I thought to myself, lovely, loan's paid off, let's get another one. So I got a £7 loan to pay off a £4,000 credit card. Why I needed £3,000, who knows? What I spent that on, who knows? Now I think I owe £400 on that now.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's nearly gone.
Nearly got. Oh my god, that's really good.
And I will not be getting another loan.
But I do think it is really hard. I feel like as soon as you've paid a loan off or something, they start emailing you saying,
I know I'll get one.
do you want some money?
It's predatory.
Yeah, I don't like it.
So the next question is, what do you think has been the biggest change in you since you started budgeting? So emotionally, physically, spiritually, sexually?
I actually, as a person, have changed a lot in terms of my need for stuff. So as part of my paying off my debt, I sold a lot of clothes, I sold a lot of shoes. I haven't repurchased those items. I now live with a lot less. I think I can go deeper. I think I can live with even more, and I'm still on that journey. The idea of living really minimally, I'm really attracted to, because I'm someone who gets a bit kind of overwhelmed anyway, and if there's less stuff around and everything's got its place and it's really organised, that really appeals to me. But I think it's an ongoing journey. I definitely used to always think about all the things that I didn't have, whereas now I'm thinking constantly about how can I live with less things.
Lovely.
How about you?
What was the question? Probably the biggest change in me since I started budgeting is I actually quite enjoy some parts of living frugally. Like in the past, I would always be the person to be like, should we get a takeaway? Go on, let's get a takeaway. And even after I heard no 3 or 4 times I'm like, yeah, I've ordered it. Like that was me.
Yeah, that's.
But now it's like sometimes it's like, no, I'm absolutely not getting that because I know what that's going to feel like tomorrow when I can't afford this or that. So I quite enjoy having that level of self-discipline. Do I have it all the time? Absolutely not. It's not all the time, but when I win that fight against myself, it's a good feeling. So what is the thing that you love to splurge on?
Very expensive home decor, like really expensive tiles.
May.
I spent about £250 on some tiles for my half.
Half? What, just the little square bit? Mate.
Like, I love interiors, and so if money was no object, I would have so much amazing stuff in my house.
Did you get a lot of joy out of that little square in front of the fire?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Like, I love all the little bits and pieces that I've got around, and I do, you know, I do actually, weirdly, with my house, that is something that I take much more time over considering and saving up for, and then I really enjoy it when I've saved up for it.
Good. The thing that I like to splurge on is takeaway.
Yeah.
Just because, like, at the moment, I'm a bit further behind you in terms of, like, I'm still not debt free yet. So being able to just, like, buying a takeaway feels frivolous to me because there's food at home.
Yeah.
Then there always will be food at home.
It's a real treat. It is a real treat, isn't it?
So for me to be able to spend 40 quid on something like that, it just means so much. So for me, that does feel like a splurge. Maybe one day I will be spending £250 on a half. No way. So what are you currently saving for?
The loft.
The loft.
The loft. So yeah, I think it's going to cost about £60,000. I'm currently saving for it, and I feel like I'm going to be forever saving for it. But you know, it is a target, it is a goal. I need to get a little bit more emotionally invested in it, I think. I was so emotionally invested in paying my debt off that I really got behind myself and focused on it. I feel like I'm not quite feeling the same about the loft, even though I know it will, you know, completely change our lives. My children will have a bedroom each. But I do feel like, yeah, I've got to really dig into the why. It's just, it feels so far away because it's such an amount of money.
It's a lot of money. So for me, I'm saving for my deposit. That's for my first home that I'm going to own as an individual. And I'm doing that through the 100 envelope challenge. So that once I finish that, that's going to be £5,050, and then I'll just go ahead and do it again, and I'll keep on doing it until I get my first home. Like, it's just always been something that I've wanted to do. Might have been easier if me and Jake were still together, but you've seen what it's like with money, so you and I both know that it'll be the same amount of time. What thing in your budget could you never ever give up that feels a bit like a splurge? So not a bill or anything like that. What sort of splurge would you never be able to give up?
It's a toss-up between my hair and my nails.
Do you not do your nails yourself?
No, I get them done.
Oh, that's why they're nice.
Yeah, so I stopped getting my nails done when I was in debt, and it was, but I didn't stop getting my hair done, so maybe that answers the question.
Well, you can do your nails yourself. You shouldn't do your hair.
Not
yourself.
not the bleaching, no. So yeah, I guess it would, the hair wins, because that's when I was in debt. I cut the nails out, but I never ever cut the hair out.
Yeah.
I feel like it, you know, has become part of my personality, and
that's
I definitely
weird.
start to feel quite low when my hair isn't. I mean, it's not looking great today, let's face it, but I definitely need the roots done soon. My appointment is next week. You have to have something that is makes you smile.
It's the exact same thing for me. For me, it's the haircut. Like, I know for a fact that I could go to a just random barbers and get a haircut for like £8, probably even a £5. But I go all in for the 30 quid. So like they cut all the way around. Like they take nose hairs out, they sort out my eyebrows, they do ear hairs. Men are gross. Men are gross.
I'm just like, they do what?
They sort out my beard, they do my eyebrow. Like,
do they set fire to stuff as well?
Yeah,
I've seen
they
some
set
people...
fire to a bit of paraffin on a stick and they go in the ear, and it burns all the little hairs off. Yeah, and like, even though I know I could get my hair cut for 8 quid, 30 quid, it's worth it.
Yeah.
So what is your worst financial habit? One that you've either got rid of or one that you still have?
If I feel unwell or if I'm really overwhelmed, but it's basically Deliveroo.
When you're in the papers for that?
Yeah. I spent £5,000 on Deliveroo.
5?
Yeah.
I don't think it was that bad.
I mean, I think it was probably 8. It was really bad.
This is me not judging.
When I can't cope, the thought of finding ingredients to then cook, which is just not my forte, I don't enjoy it, it stresses me out, I just can't. It's a block. And so when I'm in a bad place, which I was when I accrued a lot of my debt, it was really, really regular. Whilst I obviously do not spend anywhere near that amount now, it feels like my sort of comfort blanket. Like, I will get on with my life. I've meal planned now. Most of the time I do quite well. I also have simplified a lot of things, and I actually plan to have some small ready meals to save me from those moments.
Yeah.
But I always know it's there, and I have slipped into it. It's still definitely there, but much more controlled. So how about you?
So my worst thing that I used to do, and I don't do it anymore just because I'm not in a position to be able to do it, is I'd spend nearly all of my paycheck like the day before payday. So it'd be like, okay, I need this, and I'd get it.
Or like
knowing
mentally.
that I've got, I'll buy it, I go like deeper into my overdraft.
Ah.
So I go over my overdraft knowing that tomorrow the money will be in to save me. And then all of that extra money after the bills is already spent on payday.
Wow.
I don't know why I did that. And I can't even think of anything that I've ever bought on it.
It's funny, isn't it? Because you talked earlier about enjoying like the delayed gratification of saving for something, but that must have been really unfulfilling to get paid and not have any spare money and have to wait until the next month for more money.
God knows why I did half the things I did. So the very, very last question, I think it could be potentially quite contentious, is would you ever lend friends money?
The answer is no, because what I would do instead is if a friend needed and asked me for money, I would give them the money and I would say don't pay it back.
Exactly the same. I'd do the exact same thing.
I wouldn't want that contractual, I wouldn't want to have to go back to my friend and say, can I have that money back please? I would just let go of it immediately.
Yeah.
There's something about not wanting my friend to owe me and not have that in our relationship, that I would just give it even if I didn't have it to give.
Yeah. So like your friends will know your relationship with money. They'll know where you are with your debt-free journey or whatever, your like budgeting journey. So for them to have to come to ask you for money, they will know how much that money means to you. They bloody need it. Just let them have it.
Yeah.
Okay, right, that's that then. Thank you so much for joining me today, Yasmine. It's been wonderful, illuminating. I know so much more about you.
Thank you for having me. It's been super fun. Good questions.
Anytime, bestie. So as I said at the start of the video, Yasmine and I have something super, super exciting coming up. On the 18th of May, Yasmine and I are hosting a big old Zoom call for you to join. In that Zoom call, we are going to be discussing our budgeting journeys, tips and tricks that we've learned along the way. And at the end of it, there's going to be a massive Q&A. So if you've got any questions for either myself or Yasmine, unless you're a member of the Patreon, you get it for £4.
They literally are the only ones, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I'm so excited about it. So make sure you check out the link in the description, and I would love to see you on May the 18th. Guys, girls, and non-binary class, thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. Please make sure you give this video some love. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you are going to comment, please use this emoji.
You're going to put an emoji over my face?
Yeah, I am. A poo one.
Mean.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I will see you again very soon. Have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and have a wonderful budget. I'll see you really soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.